Hello, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deb from DG Reads, and it's time for my April TBR. I can't believe it's already time for an April TBR, and partially, to be perfectly honest, that's because it's super early in March. I am filming this really early, and that is because I do have a vacation at the end of March going into the first week of April, and I therefore want to get stuff done ahead of time, and this could wind up being a bad thing because I don't know what my Magical Readathon TBR is going to look like. Magical Readathon is my main priority in April. This is brought to us by G at Book Rose. You will have already seen, probably, my TBR for the Magical Readathon. I, however, don't know what that's going to look like. So am I going to be able to get any books to overlap? Who knows? Not I, but that's okay. Am I going to have as much reading time in April as normal because of the travel and the jet lag after I get back and the catching up at work after I get back? Probably not, but that's okay. Not going to worry about that. If we have to take punishment in May, oh well, we'll get things done. It'll be fun. So I'm hoping to get maybe some shorter books. I'm hoping to get some things that might wind up working for Magical Readathon once I know what those prompts are. But you know, none of that is a known entity at this point, so that's okay. Let's think about our March TBR. Now, like I said, it's really early in the month, so I can't really 100% commit to the fact that I definitely finished my TBR for March, but looking at the list, almost every book that I have left that I haven't picked up yet is something that's doing double duty for me. It's a priority read for Realmathon, the readathon I've been doing in March with Covers with Cassidy. It's a book that is for a buddy read. It's a book that would be really easy to take on the plane with me to finish last minute if needed. I am going to go with the idea that I will have finished my March TBR. If I am wrong about that, when I go to film my May TBR, I will take an extra punishment. I think that's fair. That's about the best I can do at this point because I don't want to take punishment because I haven't finished because I still have a lot of March left. So that's where we're at with that. If you are new here, I have a Promptball game. It is a gumball machine full of reading prompts, and I'm about to take you over there so we can pull our Promptball prompts. Okay, we've been joined for a little bit by a puppy. She's not been feeling her best this weekend, so she's a little bit clingy. She's a little bit camera shy. She didn't want to be held for the intro, but that's okay. She can make her own rules. All is well. We've also been joined by my Promptball machine. This is a gumball machine. It's full of little plastic gumballs. Each one has a reading prompt in it, and the idea is we find books to meet those prompts. Pretty simple. We start off with 5 quarters. Now, there are 5 colors of gumballs in there. If we happen to land on just pulling one of each color, then we will have 5 prompts. But the game's not usually that nice, so if we get duplicate colors, we pull extra. Sometimes a prompt will tell us we have to pull extra. You never know. We like a little bit of chaos around here. So, without further ado, if I can do it without disturbing the puppy, we are going to go for prompt number 1. Very awkward, buddy. All right, we're starting off with a green ball. If you are hearing a lot of background noise, it's because it's extremely windy outside. Okay, this works really well for me. From around the year in 52 books, I've got a book by a Korean author. The vacation I'm taking at the end of the month is to Korea, so I am planning to read a few more books by Korean and Korean American authors, so this works quite well. Okay, we're starting off with a really appropriate and really easy prompt for me, and that is to read a Korean author or author who's part of the Korean diaspora. And if this had come up later in the year, I might have had a little bit of a harder time with this one just because I've been binge reading Korean books in preparation for my trip to South Korea. I put up a whole vlog of books, and I had a couple left over that I put on my vacation TBR as well, but it left me with a couple of options, and one of them that I'm planning to take with me on my vacation and therefore can definitely get it read in early April is The God and the Guisin by Sophie Kim. I read The God and the Gumiho in my vlog where I was reading a bunch of Korean inspired books and so forth, and this is the sequel to that. It is a gifted copy I received from Del Rey, and I'm excited to get to it. Prompt number 2. Blue. Another easy one. And this is to read a book by audio. For an audiobook, honestly, I will have lots of options for this, so I could wind up switching something out. But for the Readathon cover challenge in April, we are meant to have a cover with an accessory on it. And for that one, I have slated in The Last Time I Saw You by Liv Constantine. This is probably one that I'm going to take on vacation with me, and I will take it both in ebook and audiobook and probably listen to it on one of my plane flights, is the most likely. So I'm reserving the right to switch this one out if I wind up wanting to read this physically. I will have plenty of books I read during the month on audiobook. This prompt will definitely be covered. Prompt number 3. Yellow. It was being too nice. The prompt that I got is to mood read, which is good, but we do have to pull an extra ball. For a mood read, I'm not going to slate a book into this necessarily. My vacation TBR has lots of options that I am taking with me on my trip. I'm going to pick things up on a whim. I definitely will be mood reading something. So this was not a bad prompt to get, aside from the fact that I do have to pick an extra book. So you're not getting a mood read pick from me right at the moment, but we will have another prompt at the end for this one. And prompt number 4. Yellow, our first duplicate. Okay, it's in chaos mode. I need to pull 2 more prompts, and then I can either combine them into a single book or read 2 different books. So let's go ahead and figure out what those 2 prompts are going to be. They're both purple. Unfortunately, I've set a precedent where I do count these in my duplicate count, so we're off to a fantastic start. Okay, first one is a book with a punctuation mark in the title. I feel like that could be possibly challenging. And the one we need to hopefully combine it with is a book with sunset vibes on the cover. And this is where the game apparently has decided to go into chaos mode, because I got one of the prompts, which are always a lot of fun, but also a little nerve-wracking, where I need to pull 2 prompts and either combine them or read 2 books. The goal is always to combine them. So I'm kind of stretching a little bit here. My 2 prompts were punctuation in the title, which wound up not being as hard as I expected, and a book with sunset vibes on it. You're going to have to weigh in whether I accomplished the sunset vibes part. The book that I'm bringing to Korea with me is a translated piece of fiction from Korean. It is Mrs. Shim is a Killer by Kang Ji-young. It has a period in here because of the Mrs., so that 100% hits the punctuation part. The idea of it being sunset vibes to me is the fact that it is such a varying gradient of colors in that red to orange to yellow vibe, and I know it's not like a full spectrum of what a sunset might encompass, but to me these colors definitely say sunset, so I think I can count it. This is a gifted copy I have from Harper. It is a April 24th, I want to say, release that is coming up. It's a crime fiction, but possibly with some humor going on in here, so it is one I'm excited for. It's one I'm planning to take with me on my trip, so hopefully it will be read by early April. Okay, our last regular prompt is red. So at least not another duplicate. This one shouldn't be too hard. It is from Around the Year in 52 Books, and it's a book with a common household object on the cover. I spend a lot of time overthinking common household object and what a common household object is. And I feel still like I'm stretching a little bit, but the book in question that I am adding to my list for this one is a gifted copy I received from St. Martin's Press, and it is The Fair Weather Friend by Jessie Garcia. This is the author who wrote The Business Trip, which I really enjoyed. And the object on the cover is an umbrella, or at least part of an umbrella. And yes, you usually take it outside of your household, but it sits around as an object in your household until you need it. So I think it works. This is following, I believe, a weather person, potentially an obsession story of some sort. I don't remember a whole lot, but it is one that I think will be a good fast read. And then before we move on to our duplicates, we do have one more, and that is the extra ball that comes with our mood read book. And it's another purple. And it is from the 52 Book Club, and it's a book related to the word puzzle. For a book with puzzle or related to a puzzle in some way, shape, or form, I'm going really literally with this one. And a recent gifted copy that I received from St. Martin's Griffin is Puzzles and Perils, The Crystal Quest, a novel in 100 Fantastical Puzzles by Gareth Moore and Laura Jane Ayres. This is both a book, so it still counts as a book, but also a puzzle book. And it's one I think will be fun to take on my travels with me, because you are getting a narrative in here, but you're also getting logic puzzles and number puzzles and mazes and different things to kind of solve along the way that I'm assuming somehow tie into the story. It sounds like so much fun, and I thought it would be a really good one to take, especially on my travels on the plane, and I think we're spending time on a train and so forth, because back in the day when I was a kid, I always took like puzzle books with me when I was traveling as a distraction. So I think this will be a fun kind of nostalgic but also reading experience. So I am definitely looking forward to trying this out. Okay, so we have 2 yellows and 3 purples that have come out so far in the range of things where we start counting our doubles. So that's 3 bonus pulls. At this point, we stop counting duplicates or else we would be here all day. So 3 more. Let's hope they're nice to us, because this is feeling a little chaotic so far. Bonus prompt number 1. From the 52 Book Club, I'm looking for a book with lowercase letters on the spine. It doesn't say they all have to be lowercase, just pointing that out. For lowercase letters on the spine, I might be stretching things just a tad, but it doesn't say all lowercase. So the book I'm going to put on is for our Vampire Academy read-along, the Bloodline spin-off part of the read-along, and that is the Indigo Spell. And on the cover and on the spine as well, only first letters are capital, everything else is lowercase. So I think that will work. I'm planning to read these probably on my plane back from Korea, potentially, or else I'll be jamming to read them after I get back from vacation, because the live show I believe is going to be the second weekend in April. I want to say sometime around the 13th, but I don't have a calendar in front of me, so don't hold me to that. We've got 2 books for this, and I will be reading both shortly before the live show to be able to discuss them with the group. We're having a lot of fun with these. They are nostalgic, older, YA, paranormal, romance, fantasy type of reads. We've got vampires and people with magic, and they're a lot of fun. This is book 3 in a series. I can't tell you too much about the plot of this one without spoiling a whole lot that came before it, but they are super fast reads. If you're interested in joining us, there's definitely plenty of time to get caught up. Bonus number 2. And this one is to steal a book. Given that I'm filming so early, I'm going to need to steal something off of a March TBR, not an April TBR. So we're just going with that. I realized I don't need to go to a March TBR to steal a book. I can steal a book from an April TBR, because I know at a very minimum, my co-hosts for this read-along are going to be reading Fiery Heart by Rochelle Mead, the 4th book in the Bloodlines series. And this is something that we're all going to be reading. It's going to be on a lot of TBRs. Therefore, I can steal it off of a TBR. And last but not least, final bonus, hopefully. And we've got a Friends 5-star read. And thankfully, our last book for this, for the Promptball prompts, is a Friends 5-star read. These are always fun to pick up. And the one that I'm going to go for is Intercepts by TJ Payne. Quite a few of my friends have read and loved this one, but most recently, I saw it again mentioned in a recommendation video from Lexi at Books with Lexi, and I made a comment saying I really need to get to Intercepts, and I got a response back, all caps, "You haven't yet?" That type of response. So it got bumped up my TBR. I know this one combines horror and sci-fi, which is something I'm always looking for more of. So it truly is one that I've just been holding, thinking I'm going to need it in the right moment for a Friends 5-star read or a read-along host 5-star read. So it's absolutely the perfect time to finally just get this one in. So that is it for my Promptball TBR, but of course there's always always more. In terms of buddy reads, I don't have that many set in stone yet for April because I am filming this so early, but my classics buddy read group is going to be reading The Scarlet Pimpernel. It is a nice shorter one, I believe, and it is by Baroness Imuska Orczy. I'm probably saying that really wrong, but it has flowers all over it, pimpernel flowers, I gather, and we are going to be reading it and discussing it in April. Cassidy at Covers with Cassidy and Mel at Melanor Reads have a group, buddy read group, and they've already announced their April pick, which looks really interesting, and that is Starside by Alex Astor. This says it is set in a world where swords wield magic and power is not inherited, it is claimed, and it sounds really interesting. It doesn't come out till the end of March, but I'm hoping to pick it up as soon as I can. For the map of stories from Leandra at Leandra the TBR 0, we are visiting Austin Abbey this month, which is the realm of classics. I haven't 100% figured out what I'm covering with this, but I do think The Scarlet Pimpernel will at least cover a couple of the prompts for this one. I do need to find a classic recommended by a booktuber, which I think is going to be hard because I don't watch that many who read and recommend classics, and also I've read so many classics that it's harder to find ones that I haven't read yet. That said, I am going to be looking, and if you have any recommendations of videos to check out, channels to check out, anything along those lines, or if you're a booktuber who has a classic to recommend, feel free to let me know and we'll see if it's one I haven't read yet. Bonus points if you can find me a booktuber who has recommended The Scarlet Pimpernel, given that my reading is so packed in for April and I'm going to be gone for a chunk of it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I will also be participating and heavily prioritizing G's Orilium Readathon, and I don't know in the present moment what that's going to look like, but that TBR will already be out by the time this one comes out, just in the way that I'm ordering things, so definitely you can check that out. In terms of arcs, I do have quite a few I would like to get to, but in terms of ones that I'm committing to, I've mentioned several in my other TBRs. This has been a very heavy TBR period because my vacation TBR, I did talk about a few, and of course I had a couple in my Promptball, but a couple others I definitely want to get to are They Want Us Dead by C.L. Mont Blanc. This is a YA, I believe, thriller or mystery. It's the author of Pride or Die. Two internet enemies are forced to work together after a true crime meetup turns into a case of its own. And this is a copy that I received from Wednesday Books. It comes out in April. Another April release that I am highly prioritizing is The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. This is a pseudonym for V.E. Schwab and Kat Clark. It is a mystery. It's about authors who are gathered together, I believe, on an island, if I'm not mistaken. Things go wrong. I am super excited for this one. I'm a fan of V.A. Schwab's writing, and her writing kind of a contemporary mystery thriller type book definitely has me intrigued. I haven't read Kat Clark before. I have a gifted ebook for this one from Harper, and it comes out on April 7th, so it is a high priority for the beginning of the month. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. There's more going to get added, a lot more, I am sure, as I get closer to April, but I'm super excited for so much going on in April and some of my reading plans and vlogging plans and so forth. So I hope you stick around to share my journey with me. Let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these books? Are any of them on your TBR, or what would you have picked for any of these prompts? Let me know all the things, and if you've made it this far and you don't have anything to comment but want to let me know you were here, leave me an emoji for a household object, because for some reason that was the prompt that held me up the most this month. If you could hit that like button below, I would surely appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in checking out my reviews of some of these books, my journeys in April, and my bookish content in general. But for now, I'll leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.